Okay, what we're going to do right now is we're going to learn how to measure the location of specific data points with regards to the other data within its collection. We're going to learn how to do it two different ways. One is by which calculating the percentile, and the other is calculating the z-score. First, we're going to start with the percentile. As you can see on the left, we have students A through T and their respective scores on a sample test. In order to calculate the percentile, meaning we want to find out how much better any particular student did than the other students in the class, or to find out where they fell within the range of all the scores of all the students, the first thing we have to do is we have to put all of their scores in order from either greatest to least or least to greatest. In this case, we'll just do least to greatest. So what you do is you highlight all of the scores. These are the things that we want to sort in order. However, we need to make sure we highlight the students as well. The key is that you highlight the test scores first, because these are the things that we want to sort. If you don't highlight the students, though, the names of the students won't go with the scores as they rearrange. So once you have them highlighted, you can go over to the right and you click Sort and Filter. You can sort from smallest to largest. You can also go to Data, and there's a sort button here as well. So you click Sort and Filter, smallest to largest, and now our scores are rearranged from the lowest score up to the highest score, and the students' names moved with each score. So we'll calculate the percentile first, and when we refer to percentile, we mean the number of observations, the number of data points at or below the one that we're concerned about. So for example, if we start with student K, we want to know the number of students at or below his or her score. Okay, and the way you calculate that is we need to know how many students, including student K, did worse than his or her score. So in this case, there are 14 students that scored below an 87, including an 87. And there are 20 students in total. So to calculate the percentage, you simply type in the equation equals 14 divided by 20, and we'll multiply it by 100 to turn it into a percentile, and we get 70. And that means 70 students scored at or below an 87 in this class. The other way to measure locations is by using what's called a z-score. The formula for z-score is over here. It's z equals x minus the mean over standard deviation, where x is just whatever value that you're concerned about, okay, whether it be a test score of an 88, 87, whatever one you're concerned about, minus the mean over the standard deviation. And what it will tell you is how far away, how many standard deviations your score is from the average score, and also whether it's above the average score or below the average score. So for this to work, first we have to do is we have to calculate the mean. We already know how to do that. You just go equals average, highlight all the data, and we have the mean, or the average score. We also want to calculate the standard deviation, so it's equals STDEV, highlight the data again, and there we have our average score for this class, and we also have the standard deviation. Now we want to know where any particular student falls within this group of students. So once again, we'll pick student K, and we'll calculate the z-score, and the z-score is equal to the student's score, oops, start with a parenthesis, the student's score minus the mean, all divided by the standard deviation. We get 0.65. Notice it's a positive number. The positive number indicates that the student's score is above the mean, okay, the student did better than average, and that the student is 0.65 standard deviations away from the average of an 80. So we have the z-score for student K. We'll do it for one more student. In this case, we'll try student N. We'll calculate this student's z-score. Formula is the same. It's equals their score minus the mean. Remember to put it all in parentheses. Divided by the standard deviation. This gives us a z-score of -1. As we said before, the negative indicates that this student's score of 70 was below the average because it's negative, and it was one whole standard deviation below the average. A standard deviation in our case is equal to 10. One standard deviation below an 80 is 80 minus 10, or 70, as we can see here.